What if with just a handful of crunchy snacks every day you could not only curb your hunger, but also control your blood sugar, improve your insulin sensitivity, and protect your heart, kidneys, and nerves, all without taking a pill? Sounds like an advertisement? But no, this is real scientific data. From months of research on people struggling with type 2 diabetes, metabolic syndrome, and insulin resistance, the results show that when using the right type of nuts at the right time, in the right amount, people can not only control their blood sugar, but also reduce visceral fat, improve cholesterol, and prevent complications. In this video, you will explore with me 3 types of nuts that most people with diabetes are ignoring. Each type has its own unique power. One nourishes the brain and restores nerves. One affects belly fat and improves metabolism, and the other helps regulate appetite and reduce inflammation that silently causes diabetes to progress. In each section, I will give you a specific strategy to apply. When to eat, how much to eat, what foods to combine to increase effectiveness, and most importantly, you will see why instead of eliminating snacks from your life, we should turn them into nutritional tools to protect ourselves. Don't look away, because the last mentioned nut can completely change the way you snack and even improve sleep, something most diabetics are missing. Let's start with the first name, the least luxurious nut, but it is the silent hero in the daily blood sugar stabilization strategy. If you think peanuts are just a cheap common snack that has nothing to do with diabetes control, you are missing out on an extremely valuable nutritional weapon. Although not classified as tree nuts, like almonds or walnuts, peanuts contain almost all, even surpassing important nutrients for people with diabetes. An ounce of peanuts, about 28 nuts, provides more than 7 grams of protein, 14 grams of good fat, 2 grams of fiber, and only about 4 grams of absorbable carbohydrates. The glycemic index (GI) of peanuts is extremely low, only 13, and the glycemic load is only 1. In other words, peanuts hardly cause a spike in blood sugar, even when eaten alone. However, the most notable thing is when you combine peanuts with starchy foods such as rice, bread, or sweet fruit. The protein, fat, and fiber in peanuts slow down the digestion of carbohydrates, thereby significantly reducing post-meal blood sugar spikes. Research shows that adding peanuts to a meal can reduce post-meal glucose levels by up to 30%, while also reducing the amount of insulin needed to be secreted. Peanuts are also rich in niacin, vitamin B3, a nutrient involved in a series of reactions that produce energy and repair nerve tissue. People with diabetes often suffer from peripheral nerve damage, and niacin can help slow this process. In addition, peanuts contain about 50 milligrams of magnesium per ounce, 12% of the daily requirement, which plays a key role in sugar metabolism and insulin action. Another important factor is arginine, an amino acid found in abundance in peanuts. Arginine helps increase nitric oxide, a vasodilator, improving blood circulation. This is of great significance for people with diabetes, who are at risk of foot ulcers and limb necrosis due to lack of blood supply. Not only that, peanuts also contain resveratrol, coumaric acid, luteolin, and quercetin, powerful antioxidants that help reduce inflammation, prevent damage to blood vessels, thereby protecting the heart, kidneys, and eyes from dangerous diabetes complications. An extremely effective tip: eat 1 ounce of peanuts in the evening, about 30 minutes before bed. This helps stabilize blood sugar throughout the night, reduce morning sugar, especially dawn syndrome, reduce late-night hunger, thereby supporting both sleep and weight control. Some people are afraid of peanuts because they are high in calories, but in fact, peanuts are very satiating, thanks to the ideal ratio of protein, fat, and fiber, helping you eat less throughout the day. Research has shown that people who regularly eat peanuts do not gain weight. On the contrary, tend to naturally reduce calories and better control waist circumference, a factor directly related to insulin resistance. Note: choose dry roasted, unsalted peanuts or raw peanuts. Avoid sugared, salted, fried peanuts. If using peanut butter, make sure it is unsweetened and free of hydrogenated vegetable oil. Just a handful of peanuts a day. It may seem small, but it is the first step to help you stabilize blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and protect blood vessels. And now prepare to move on to the next type of nut, less common in the Vietnamese diet, but a real treasure for your brain, heart, and nervous system. In the world of diabetic foods, if there is one nut that is considered a natural holistic therapy, it is walnuts. Not too prominent in the daily kitchen, but what is hidden inside this brain-shaped nut makes it a superfood in modern nutritional medicine. With just a small portion, about 14 halves, 1 ounce, you get 18 green of good fat, 4g of protein, 2g of net carbs, and especially more than 44% of the daily omega-3 ALA requirement. This is a form of plant fatty acid that has the ability to fight inflammation, regulate blood lipids, and protect blood vessels. 3 factors that are extremely necessary for people with diabetes. In a 3-month study, people with type 2 diabetes were asked to eat walnuts every day without changing their total calorie intake. The results: HbA1c decreased, fasting insulin was more stable, and visceral fat was reduced. It's proof that adding more, not less, can make a big difference when you choose the right foods. Walnuts are good for your heart. This has been confirmed by a series of large studies. Regular consumption of walnuts can reduce LDL bad cholesterol by up to 10%, reduce triglycerides by up to 20%, and can slightly increase HDL good cholesterol. Notably, these benefits are achieved without the need for statins or lipid-lowering drugs when combined with a reasonable diet. Next up is the kidneys, an organ that is silently damaged by prolonged high blood sugar. Walnuts help reduce proteinuria, improve glomerular filtration function, and reduce endothelial inflammation, thereby slowing the progression of chronic kidney failure in people with diabetes. A less mentioned but extremely important aspect is the nervous system. People with long-term diabetes often experience numbness in the hands, feet, tingling, and pain. This is a complication of neuropathy caused by blood sugar damaging the small blood vessels that supply the nerves. Walnuts contain arginine, an amino acid that increases the production of nitric oxide, a substance that dilates blood vessels and improves circulation to damaged nerve areas, especially in the lower limbs. At the same time, it helps restore the lining of blood vessels, increases elasticity, and reduces inflammation, an important factor in the treatment of neurological complications. In terms of the brain, walnuts are not only shaped like the brain, they actually nourish the brain. Antioxidants, such as ellagic acid, lutein, and vitamin E in walnuts, help protect nerve cells from oxidative stress, reducing the risk of memory loss, a condition that is not uncommon in older diabetics. Another interesting plus of walnuts is their effect on hormones that control appetite. In the study, people who ate walnuts had lower levels of ghrelin, the hunger hormone, and increased peptide YY, the hormone that creates a feeling of fullness. This helps you eat less without feeling hungry, thereby better controlling your weight and waistline, 2 key factors in treating insulin resistance. Not only that, walnuts also help balance the gut microbiome, the foundation of a healthy metabolism. Polyphenols in walnuts act as prebiotics, feeding bacteria that produce butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid that reduces inflammation, regulates blood sugar, and boosts immunity. Pro tip: eat 7 to 10 walnut halves, about 30 minutes before your main meal. This helps stabilize post-meal glucose, reduces starch cravings, and helps insulin work more effectively from the start of the meal. You can eat walnuts raw, lightly roasted, added to yogurt, oatmeal, salads, or blended into butter to eat with vegetables. The average price per serving ranges from 30–50 cents in the US market, a reasonable investment for long-term disease prevention. And if you've ever thought that walnuts are too fatty, too high in calories, or hard to lose weight, remember, these are fats that protect you, not destroy you. Not all fats are bad. The fats in walnuts are exactly the piece of the puzzle that diabetics need to reduce inflammation, repair the endothelium, and stabilize metabolism in a sustainable way. Hold on, because next up is the most popular and most misunderstood nut, and when used correctly, it can turn every meal into an opportunity for healing from within. In the world of healthy foods, almonds are probably the most familiar name, but familiar doesn't mean understood. For people with diabetes, almonds are more than just a snack. They're a strategic tool, a natural shield against inflammation, insulin resistance, and the silent assault of fluctuating blood sugar. Let's start with the numbers. 1 ounce of almonds, about 23 nuts, contains 164 calories, 6 grams of protein, 14 grams of healthy fat, and only about 2.5 grams of net carbs after subtracting fiber. That's an ideal nutritional profile for people who need to control their carbs and take the load off their pancreas. A 12-week study found that people with diabetes who added almonds to their daily diets reduced their HbA1c by an average of 0.6%, an improvement comparable to some early oral medications. but all natural and without the side effects. Almonds are particularly rich in vitamin E, one of the most powerful antioxidants, which protects cell membranes from free radical damage. Each ounce of almonds provides 37% of the daily requirement for vitamin E. This is especially important for people with diabetes, as oxidative stress is a major cause of nerve, eye, and vascular complications. Equally important is magnesium. Each serving of almonds provides about 76 Magnesium is a key mineral in more than 300 biochemical reactions, including glucose metabolism, insulin signaling, and blood pressure regulation. Studies have shown that more than 30% of people with diabetes are chronically deficient in magnesium, and supplementing with foods like almonds can naturally restore insulin sensitivity. Beyond vitamins and minerals, almonds also contain a group of plant compounds that can reduce systemic inflammation, aid digestion, and protect blood vessels. This is where almonds shine: anti-inflammatory without drugs. More specifically, people who eat almonds every day have been found to have up to a 30% reduction in C-reactive protein, CRP, an indicator of chronic inflammation. At the same time, blood lipids are also significantly improved. LDL is reduced, HDL is increased, and small LDL particles, the most dangerous, are significantly reduced. This shows that almonds not only help stabilize blood sugar but also protect the heart from angina or myocardial infarction, the leading complications in people with type 2 diabetes. Another valuable effect is the impact on satiety and hunger hormone. Eating almonds helps reduce ghrelin, the hunger hormone, while increasing peptide YY, the hormone that creates a feeling of fullness. This is extremely useful if you are looking to lose belly fat, eat less without feeling hungry. In one study, people who consumed almonds every day significantly reduced belly fat without changing their total calorie intake. Almonds' role in the gut cannot be ignored. The fiber in almonds is a prebiotic, feeding the beneficial bacteria in the digestive tract, which in turn produces butyrate, a short-chain fatty acid that reduces inflammation and improves insulin sensitivity. This proves that the benefits of almonds extend beyond the digestive system to glucose metabolism and systemic inflammatory responses. Pro tip: eat about 10-12 almonds 10 to 15 minutes before a main meal. This slows down the absorption of carbohydrates in the meal, helping to reduce post-meal blood sugar spikes by up to 30. This is a small but effective habit that you can apply starting today. You can eat raw, dry roasted, unsalted almonds, or process them into yogurt, salads, oatmeal, or grind them into almond butter and eat with low-sugar fruit. A serving costs only about 40–70 cents, but the benefits are many times greater than the nutritional value alone. And if you've ever been told to avoid nuts because they're high in fat, know this: the fat in almonds is the anti-inflammatory kind, fat that diabetics need to add to their diet, not avoid. We'll get to the final part soon, a summary of these 3 nuts in a comprehensive nutrition strategy. A strategy that doesn't rely on strict dieting, but on using the right foods at the right times to effectively and sustainably manage the disease. We've just gone through 3 seemingly familiar nuts: peanuts, walnuts, and almonds, but they have powers that go far beyond the role of a snack. Each provides a necessary piece for people living with diabetes, from controlling blood sugar, restoring insulin, fighting inflammation, protecting nerves, to improving heart and kidney function. The point is, all have clear scientific evidence, are easy to find, and most importantly, easy to apply to daily life. No need to change too much. No need to eliminate all the things you love. Just add the right things at the right time. Peanuts, with arginine, healthy fats, and a low glycemic index, are the ideal companion for a pre-bedtime snack or to incorporate into a starchy meal. Walnuts, thanks to their omega-3s, antioxidants, and ability to protect blood vessels, help you prevent complications from the root. Almonds, with their vitamin E, magnesium, and fiber, act as a shield to protect your pancreas and reduce the inflammation that silently destroys your body every day. When combined properly, these 3 nuts are more than just a snack. They are a smart nutrition strategy that is easy to incorporate into your daily routine and can make lasting changes to your metabolic health. So you don't need to wait for a perfect diet to start making changes. Just start with a handful of nuts every day. And over time, you'll see a difference not only in your lab results, but also in your energy, sleep, mood, and quality of life. If you've tried any of these 3 nuts, let us know what you think. And if you haven't, start today. Health doesn't come from big things. It comes from small choices, repeated every day.